Jonathan, the Texas Longhorns are going to win the national championship. Which, if you slow it down and translate it, it's me reluctantly saying the Texas Longhorns are going to win the national championship. And it's a very good chance that does happen. When you hear that statement in all the glory, what comes to mind as UT is in the playoff?
Man, Vince Young crossing that goal line. Go up 41-38 against USC. Oh, the glory.
You think it happens again? Do you think it's going to happen again?
The glory. So, I've tried so hard to convince myself that Texas winning the national championship is a reality, right? Because my first thought is to be like, nah, not this year. Or, maybe they're a year away. But they match up really, really well against Washington. And they match up really, really well against Michigan. And they already beat Alabama, even though this is a different Alabama team. And I'll attest to that. This is a different Alabama team, I think. But last time they played, they did beat Alabama, and they certainly can beat Alabama again. So to say that Texas, could or will win the national championship, I think is just a realistic take, right? I think all four teams are capable of winning a national championship. And I've had to accept in my mind that the team that I cover, the team that I grew up rooting for, the team that makes me passionate for some reason on Saturdays, good or bad, is 2 games away from winning a national championship. And they have all the talent on the offensive and defensive sides of the ball. I think they have the chemistry, the culture, and the cohesion. Shout out the 3 C's. Maybe 4, because they have the coaching staff as well. They have gotten them to this point and, brought the players together to get them to this point. And I do not think it's crazy at all to think that Texas can win the national championship. And I certainly think that, that possibly could be a smart bet.
I'm going to give you, all you Texas fans, some credit here. Because, look, I don't, as somebody who went to Baylor, hosts Locked On Big 12, I don't get any more money or any prowess or anything from rooting for Texas or wanting Texas to win. There are 15 other fan bases to appease here that hate Texas, and probably deservedly so. But UT fans have not been insufferable in the last couple of weeks. See, they were way more insufferable after that Sugar Bowl win. It was, we're back. This is us. Flaunt this, flaunt that. I've seen so many level-headed UT fans in the last couple of weeks come up on my feed. Why is that?
Drake said, it's real when you are who you think you are, and I just think that Texas fans haven't had to overcompensate this year. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think we came into the season saying that, we were going to, either go 11-1 or 10-2, or we were going to win the Big 12. And I think most Texas fans thought we were possibly a year away from the college football playoff. I know I thought that. And now we're here once again, 2 wins away from a national championship. Yeah. So I don't think Texas fans have had to be unreasonable this year. And I don't think Texas fans have had to be annoying and bring up all-time records from, years before they were born, and bringing up things from 20 years ago and how much money we make and our TV ratings and all of that, because at the end of the day, we are winning football games now. So like I said, it's real when you are who you think you are. And the Texas Longhorns are now, who we thought they were for a long time. So, we're finally at a place where we can let our play and our recruiting do the talking.
Yeah. If you had to decide, because you were humble all season. I asked you preseason on our Locked On College Football big preview. You said you didn't think Texas was going to make the college football playoff this year. And here they are. Now, do you think the Longhorns are going to win the national championship? If you had to say yes or no right now.
Yes, I think the Longhorns are going to win the national championship. Yes, I've just been thinking about it. I haven't, officially predicted it. I guess I'm spoiling it now for the Locked On Longhorns listeners, but I do think they beat Washington in the Sugar Bowl. I think they play against Alabama again, and I just don't think that Alabama can do enough on offense against our defense to beat this team. And I think in 2 games against Nick Saban at Texas, Steve Sarkisian at least has shown with Quinn Ewers that he has that defense's number. So I think they're going to beat Washington in the Sugar Bowl on January 1st. I think they match up with Alabama again, and I think they beat Alabama again to win the national championship. So there you go. Yes, wow. Texas winning the national championship is a realistic thought, and a month from now, it'll be a reality that happened.
Jonathan, this won't be the last time we do a show before Washington and Texas kick off here in a few weeks, I'm sure. We'll do all kinds of prep leading up to that, because they're still a Big 12 school, for a little bit at least. But if that is the case, if Texas wins it all, what does that do for this university and this fan base?
What does a championship do for this university and this fan base? I think it just provides relief, right? I think it just, provides relief. and I could talk about it. We talked about the Texas Rangers from a standpoint of, you're a fan in 2010 and you make it to the World Series and you lose, but you say, you know what, we were overmatched. We'll be back. Right. And you do, in fact, go back in 2011 and you win, you win the AL, you go to the World Series and you lose in heartbreaking fashion. And you think, okay, that's tough. Right. We just lost 2 in a row, but we'll be back. Right. And then the next 10 years happens, right? And you realize that anything can happen in baseball and, nothing is guaranteed and you learn not to take anything for granted. And then 2023 happens and it's just relief, like all of this for this moment, right? And I think that if Texas wins the national championship in 2023, it makes the last decade plus worth it, right? Because you win the championship in 2005, you go back to the championship in 2009, you probably should have, gone to the championship in 2008 if Blake Gideon doesn't drop an interception or you make a tackle on Michael Crabtree against Texas Tech. And you just think that you just assume that Texas is going to be on the top every year. You just assume that Texas is going to be in that position every year. And then the next decade happens. But if you win the national championship in 2023, it makes that whole decade worth it, right? That all the agony, all the pain, everything you've gone through over the last decade, it makes it worth it. And it's just relief, right? Because it's like, whew, we're back. On time.
There's that phrase. Jonathan and folks who
hey Sammy.
hey Sammy. To Locked On Big 12 want to find more of your work somehow. If they want to find more of your Texas work, where do they go?
Yes, if you want to flood my comments with hate, you can come to Locked On Longhorns on YouTube, Locked On Horns on Twitter, Jonzo Ball on Twitter, and just like Texas is back, Lonzo will be back in 2024. Hopefully, Lonzo Ball, Jonzo Ball, signing out.
That is Jonathan Davis of Locked On Longhorns. Rick Toll here from ESPN Central Texas and Locked On Big 12. Thanks for making Locked On Big 12 and Locked On Horns your first listen every single day. This has been and always will be Locked On. Thanks for making both these shows your first listen every single day. Locked On Longhorns and Locked On Doce Grande.